Hi, it's the Tipsy Chef's wife, Tanita. I relegated the Tipsy Chef today so that I can show you how to make my Gulab Jamun recipe. It's the third installment of the Diwali special, so I really hope that there's lots of you who are tuned in to watch this evening. And yeah, I'm really excited to show you my recipe. Let's get started. Okay, so we're going to start with 1 can of condensed milk, which I've already poured into the bowl. I'm going to add in a tablespoon of butter ghee. And then I'm going to sieve in 2 tablespoons of semolina, 1 teaspoon of ilachi powder, and then I've got 2 cups here of self-raising flour. You can take plus or minus 2 cups of flour. So we're going to start with that and sort of just see what we need to start to actually form a dough. So we're looking for sort of a sticky dough. So we'll go with half of that for now. Just sieve that in. And so we're just going to use a spoon at first just to get things going. Combining quite nicely. You can see that it's looking more like a batter, not like a dough. So I'm going to go in now with some more flour, self-raising flour. Okay, I think we're going to have to use that last bit. Okay, it's time to get our hands in there. Quite a stodgy, sticky consistency, which is why I was using the spoon at first. Okay, so it's all come together nicely in a bowl. So I'm just going to take it out here onto the surface so we can start working with it. Okay, so now that we've got our dough formed, just going to roll it out into a bit of a snake just so that it's a bit easier to work with. Okay, then I'm going to break off some pieces. So this depends on how big you want your gulab jamuns to be. I'm going to work with this size, which is about 30 grams each. Okay, so I'm just going to break them off and measure them. Okay, so now that we've broken them up into sort of equal sized pieces, let me just start with rolling it into a ball, and that sort of just smooths it out a little bit. And then we're just going to roll it longwards like this. And then if you want to, you can sort of roll the ends a little bit thinner so it has that typical sort of gulab jamun look, but you're going to leave it like this so that it's a little bit juicy throughout and not too crispy at the ends. Okay, I'm just gonna finish these up. In a medium pot, you're going to get in 1.5 cups of sugar and 1 cup of water, and we're going to flavor that with some rose water. We just need a teaspoon of that, and we're going to get that up to a boil. So now that our syrup is up to a nice boil and we can see that the sugar is nicely dissolved, we're going to bring down the heat to about 1, so very, very low. We don't want it to get too cold. We just want to keep it warm enough that when the gulab jamuns are ready and have been fried, we can put them straight into the syrup. Okay, so in a deepish You can use a saucepan, or you can use something else that you prefer frying in. You're going to put in some butter ghee and some cooking oil. You can use sunflower oil or you can use canola. I use a mix of it so that it's not too rich with the butter ghee. So you want a good level of this because you don't want to fry the gulab jamuns in very shallow oil, because you want them to be able to roll around and still keep their shape. Okay, so it looks like our oil is up to a good heat. Again, it needs to be a medium heat because we don't want it to be too high where the outside burns and the inside is still uncooked, and we don't want it to be too low where it soaks up too much of the oil. So I'm going to just put it in now. Let's go with the first one. Yep, that looks about right. And I also don't want to overcrowd because we use self-raising flour, so it is going to blow up a little bit. Okay, so you can see that they've blown up quite a bit and they're just browning, so we sort of want it to get nicely browned all around, and then we're ready to dip it into the syrup. Okay, so they've nicely browned up. We're ready for the syrup. I'm going to just drain off the excess oil, and it's going to go straight into the syrup, which is on a low heat at the moment. Let's do these ones. Let's get them in here as well. Just going to roll them around here for a little bit to soak up that lovely rose-scented syrup. What do you think, Tootsie Chef? How does that smell?
Smells amazing.
Okay, so it's been about 2 minutes that they've been in the syrup. Oops. Just gonna grab that and place it on a draining rack. This is totally optional. I'm just going to put on some desiccated coconut. It's not too hot. You can actually just pick it up. That's better. You can also coat them with some caster sugar. It's also quite nice. And the gulab jamuns are all done and ready to be packed into our Diwali parcels.